Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA episode 518. I am Brendan. Today we're going to talk about UFC Fight Night, Bonfim versus Brown. Not as much controversy. A little bit in the main event because we can't have a UFC event go on now without some controversy following it. Last week we had the betting scandal. The week before that we had eye pokes. The week before that we had eye pokes. Last week was eye pokes too. It's just been a giant mess. We're going to talk about the main card here, go over the fights. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way the next video is coming out. Let's get into it. All right, so Bonfim versus Brown. This was an intriguing matchup because Randy Brown, historically not my favorite fighter, okay? Real quick, let's just get this out of the way. Also, if you're looking for a specific fight, timestamps are down below. Let's see. Brown has this tendency to look not untouchable, but I mean, in a fight, actually, kind of because of his range. But he looks like he has not disdain for his opponent, but just there's something about him that seems like he's not fully invested. And this is just perception, right? And I hate that I have to say this because people are they jump on any negativity, like, oh, you call him a piece of shit? Like, no, I don't know. He probably tips his waiters really well and takes care of his grandma. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you watch him fight, he has this it's a little bit of flow. It's a little bit of flow. So there's that, but he's very he jabs a lot. He stays on the outside, uses his range really well. He hits really hard, but it's just like that fire just doesn't seem to be there all the time. And he gets in these situations where he gets this split decision loss to Brian Battle and he's all pissy, right? He loses and then he loses winnable fights. He loses and then he wins fights that he should. There's a lot of random circumstances. He gets hit hard a lot in this fight. I like to say that up front to let you know my opinion on this, but do I think this fight was stopped relatively early? Yes. I think the circumstances that led to it, it's totally understandable, but I would have liked to see a follow-up punch on this one. The referee, Mark Smith, I think he did his job just fine. It started out the fight, Brown using his range, trying to mess up the knees with those push kicks of Bonfim. And then Bonfim just started nailing him with leg kicks. What did he land, 16 in the first round? 18 leg kicks in the first round. It really gave Brown problems. I think this is the recipe and the strategy going forward against him. I know it's been utilized before. I think it's there all day. I think the fact that he likes to stay on the outside, he likes to jab, he likes to counter people's pressure. You kick the legs and you can stay outside of his jab. Yeah, you have to worry about that power that he's got, but if you give him enough leg kicks, clearly he can make some adjustments. I think there's plenty of room for him to make some improvement here. But that first round I clearly gave to Bonfim, even though Brown landed some bigger shots up top. Bonfim was no slouch in that area. And then his leg kicks were having a noticeable effect on Brown. And then that second round, Brown was sitting a little bit lower in his stance, trying to apply the pressure, take away that space. I mean, he was doing a little bit of that in the first round as well. But Bonfim, when he got into that clinch, Bonfim lands this beautiful knee right on the chin, puts Brown out, right? He was out. You could see his eyes roll back. He was out as he fell down, and then he immediately woke up after he hit the ground. The referee, Mark Smith, had already made the decision to jump in when he saw the way he got knocked out. And because of that, we get this less than satisfying finish. Do I think it was stopped too early? Yes. Am I unhappy with it? No. If I was Brown, I would be very upset. I totally understand his perspective here. But that being said, this stuff happens when you're dealing with millisecond decisions. We often criticize referees for stoppages, and we go through all this stuff. This one is not one of those. Also, Brown eye poked him too. This was honestly a bad night for cheaters. A lot of the guys who cheated ended up losing. All right. Moving on. Matt Schnell versus Joseph Morales. Don't need to really pull up the stats on this one. Didn't go that long. Morales was mixing up the strikes, really going up top, going on bottom. And then Schnell engages, I'm sure he's completely functional on the ground, but the things that you notice from him is his tenacity, his stick-to-itiveness, his willing to stay in the fire and throw back. But he decided to engage in the grappling, ends up on bottom. Morales ends up Morales swept him, ends up on his back in the crucifix, gets over and gets to the guillotine finish. Beautiful finish by Morales. I think that was just, it's one of those things. You make one mistake in a fight and it's all over. Morales grabbed that leg. Schnell was off balance, had to fall back to his butt, and Morales took advantage. All right, Muslim Salikhov taking on Uros Medic. Again, not a lot of stats in this one. Medic was landing some really nasty body kicks early, and they were like exploding into each other, right? They're constantly trying to both engage very quickly, and Medic just got the better of it. I think Medic was landing the better shots even before that left hand landed. Salikhov, maybe as the fight went on, could have found his rhythm as well, but Medic didn't allow that to continue. He followed up and got the TKO finish. It could be a KO finish. Was it officially? That doesn't say. Okay, the other Bonfim brother. Not happy about this one. I mean, I'm happy about the outcome, but Bonfim missing weight by freaking 5 pounds. It's unreal. I don't care what the circumstances are. That's unacceptable. I just don't understand. I don't understand why the UFC allows this to happen. The commissions is one thing, but if you can't make weight, the UFC should just pay the dude his win and show money, the other guy, and then not pay the other one. Because you took the fight. And then some people out there say like, oh, well, sometimes they take it up on short notice and they just can't make the weight. Okay, man. Okay. That is your job, and you didn't do your job. You didn't arrive on time at the correct weight. What do you want everybody else to do? I don't understand why this is allowed to happen. 1 pound, even 1 pound, there is no excuse for weight misses. Illnesses and all those other things, fine. Just don't let the fight take place anymore. It's stupid. It only punishes the fighter who made weight. Even in a circumstance like this where Padilla ends up getting the win. Anyway, let's talk about the fight. So Padilla with the crazy start. They calmed down a little bit, both looking for low kicks. Bonfim entering over the top. Bonfim has his range early, and Bonfim was kind of getting into a groove. But then Padilla started landing those low kicks more and more. He landed 5 of them this round, really giving Bonfim issues. And then, here's the thing. In this first round, I think Bonfim landed the better shots through the round. Yes, he got outstruck here, 17-14. I just felt like Bonfim did more damage with his shots. I also felt like those leg kicks from Padilla and, Bonfim coming over the top trying to counter, it was really going to be a battle of, the attrition for Padilla and Bonfim landing one big shot. Right? Even like Padilla was losing, I think Padilla was losing the overall damage battle, but his targeted damage towards that leg, obviously, as they say, it's like money in the bank for the later rounds and that kind of stuff. Bonfim also kicked the dude in the nuts, right? Padilla was hurting him with a knee. He started hurting him with the knee to the body. Bonfim goes for the takedown, falls to his back, kind of just quits on him, and Padilla just gets a TKO finish. I'm not happy about that. I'm happy that the cheater lost, but I'm not happy that circumstance keeps going on. Can't have a UFC event without stupid stuff. This video's going fast, huh? Not a lot of decisions, including this one. Christian Leroy Duncan taking on Marco Tulio. Duncan not fighting how he usually did. Just crazy pressure, big movements. He was kind of overextending with his movements and ending up in the clinch quite a bit. And initially, Tulio was able to control the clinch and keep things in tight. Initially, like there was a spinning elbow that Duncan landed, cut Tulio up, and then he ended up in the clinch for a while. And you can see it in the control time here, 2 minutes and 30 seconds for Tulio. A lot of that was the clinch. Those big outputs were fantastic. The pressure was fantastic. I wish he would back up just a little bit and control his forward momentum, maybe be a little bit more measured with his output. But that being said, he landed the bigger shots in this first round. They were even 8-8. I thought Duncan did more damage. That's a 10-9 for Duncan. Second round, Padilla started. Oh, sorry. Duncan's attacks were forcing Tulio to react, and Tulio started landing with the counters. So I don't know if Duncan's idea was, if I just crash, throw some big stuff and crash, I can avoid the counters. So maybe that is part of his strategy. And the grappling wasn't his Achilles heel in this one. He was able to control in the clinch a little bit more in the second round. He was doing some stuff. Anyway, he spins, rocks him with the spinning back fist, follows up and puts him right to sleep. Was this also Mark? Oh, okay. So this plays into the main event. So Mark Smith reffed this one and the main event. This one, there was an extra shot thrown that put Tulio out, right? He was out cold, face first on the ground. And Mark Smith probably could have stepped in early. I didn't think so. I thought this was fine. I thought it was fine. It's the hurting game. This is how this works. People are going to get hurt. Knockouts are going to happen. People are going to take damage. That is the sport. Everybody signed up to do it. I get it. We got to get that. We have to understand that. I don't know if that made him a little trigger happy for the main event when he saw that happen again with Randy Brown. So, again, I don't want to harp on that one. We already went through that. But overall, a quick night of fights. Exciting fights. If you did not watch these and you're just here for the review of it, fine. This is definitely one worth throwing on. I understand that the consequences for these fights don't necessarily have title implications, maybe not a lot of top 10 stuff, barely rankings. I get that. But a lot of fun fights, a lot of fun stuff to watch. I do recommend going back and watching this. It is worth your time. You can skip through all the commercials. The fights are going on pretty fast. There's relatively a lot of action, good stuff. So if you didn't watch it, I recommend going back to watch it. And if you like this thing, subscribe to the channel. That way you know this video's coming out. I really appreciate it. All right, this went by pretty quick. Next video is going to be the prelims. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. It means a lot to me. Hope you guys have an amazing week. Peace. Love y'all.